Today, I am going to show you how to replace a toilet handle and adjust a flapper chain so you can stop a running toilet without calling expensive repairmen. In just a few minutes, you'll know exactly what to do. Welcome back to Your Home Medic. I'm Chuck Rohr. I've been doing home service work since 1998. This channel is about saving you money by keeping your finger on your home's pulse, doing the regular maintenance, catching problems early, and knocking out the repairs you can handle. Trust your eyes and ears and don't let a small problem become a big one. If your toilet keeps running, doesn't flush properly, or you sometimes have to jiggle the handle to make it stop, the problem may be something as simple as the handle or chain connecting it to the flapper. When you push the toilet handle, the lever inside the tank pulls the chain. The chain lifts the flapper and lets the water leave the tank. When you release the handle, everything needs to move freely enough for the flapper to drop completely back into place. If the chain is too tight, too loose, tangled, or getting caught under the flapper, you can have problems. A loose or sticking handle can cause trouble too. If you haven't confirmed that the handle or chain is causing your running toilet, watch my video called Diagnose a Running Toilet first. That will help you determine whether the problem is here or with the flapper, fill valve, refill tube, or another part. In this video, we'll inspect the handle and chain, adjust them properly, replace them if necessary, and make sure the flapper opens and closes the way it should. When you press the handle on the outside of the toilet, this lever arm moves upward inside the tank. The chain connects the lever to the flapper. The lever pulls the chain lifts the flapper, and the water in the tank is released into the bowl. Once enough water leaves the tank, the flapper needs to fall freely back onto the flush seat valve. That sounds simple, and it is, but all of these parts have to work together. If one of them binds, sticks, or is adjusted incorrectly, the toilet may run, flush poorly, or require you to jiggle the handle. A chain or handle problem usually gives you some pretty obvious symptoms. Toilet stops running when you jiggle the handle. Handle sticks after flushing. Flapper does not close completely. Flapper barely lifts. Handle feels loose. Chain is tangled. Chain falls beneath the flapper. Toilet requires holding the handle down to flush. If you recognize one of those symptoms, there's a good chance you're looking in the right place. This is another repair that normally doesn't require much in the way of tools. An adjustable wrench or pliers, a replacement toilet handle if needed, replacement flapper with chain if needed, small towel, a flashlight, which is optional. And if everything is still in good condition, you may not need any replacement parts at all. Sometimes a simple adjustment is the entire treatment. Start by carefully removing the tank lid and setting it somewhere safe. You usually do not need to shut off the water just to inspect or adjust the handle and chain. Now press the handle several times while watching what happens inside the tank. Watch the entire sequence. Does the handle move smoothly? Does the lever lift the chain? Does the flapper open completely? And most importantly, does the flapper fall all the way back down when you release the handle? With the flapper completely closed and the handle at rest, look at the chain. You want a small amount of slack. If the chain is pulled tight while the flapper is closed, it may hold the flapper slightly off its seat. Even a tiny opening is enough to let water continually leak into the bowl. That water loss causes the fill valve to turn back on, which is why a chain that's too tight can cause a running toilet or phantom flush. But you don't want the chain hanging all the way down either. If it's too loose, you may push the handle and barely lift the flapper. You may get a weak flush, have to hold the handle down, or have enough extra chain that it gets tangled or trapped underneath the flapper. Too tight, flapper may leak. Too loose, poor flush or tangled chain. Most toilet chains attach to the flush lever with a small hook or clip. To change the amount of slack, disconnect the chain and move the clip up or down a link. You can also move the chain to another hole along the flush lever if that gives you better alignment. You're looking for a small amount of slack with the flapper completely closed. Roughly ½ an inch is a good place to start. Then test it. The flapper should lift cleanly when you push the handle and fall completely closed when you release it. Quick reminder, if this is helping, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment with what you're working on. That tells YouTube to show this to more homeowners. It helps me make more videos for you. If your house is showing a symptom, there's a good chance we've got a treatment plan. Once the chain is adjusted, take a look at any extra chain hanging from the connection. You do not want a long loose section floating around inside the tank. It can become tangled around the lever and fall underneath the flapper and prevent it from sealing. Secure the excess chain so it stays out of the way, or remove unnecessary links if the design allows it. Just make sure you leave enough chain to make future adjustments. The chain should pull the flapper upward as straight as possible. If it's pulling sharply to one side, the flapper can twist or bind instead of lifting cleanly. If your flush lever has several holes, move the chain connection to one that gives you a straighter pull. Then operate the handle again and watch the flapper. The goal is smooth movement from beginning to end. Now let's check the handle itself. Press it down and release it. The handle should return to its resting position on its own. If you have to lift the handle back up or jiggle it to make the toilet stop running, the handle or flush lever may be sticking. Look for anything interfering with a lever arm. Make sure it isn't rubbing against the tank wall, the fill valve, the overflow tube, or another component. If the handle feels loose or moves around excessively, check the mounting nut on the inside of the tank. Here's something important. Many toilet handle nuts use a reverse thread. That means they tighten in the opposite direction from an ordinary nut. Don't just put a wrench on it and crank away. First determine which direction your particular nut tightens. If it only needs to be snugged up, tighten it carefully. You're working against porcelain and plastic parts, so there is no reason to over-tighten it. If the handle is cracked, badly corroded, bent, or continues sticking after you've checked its alignment, it's probably time to replace it. Most replacement toilet handles include the outside handle, the lever arm, and the mounting nut. Before buying one, look at where your handle is located on the tank. Some toilets use a front-mounted handle, others mount on the side or at an angle. There are several universal replacements available, but make sure the replacement is designed to work with your toilet. If the handle needs replacement, disconnect the flapper chain from the lever first. Then remove the mounting nut from inside the tank. Again, remember that many of these use reverse threaded. On those handles, you'll turn the nut clockwise to loosen it. Once the nut is removed, slide the old handle and lever assembly out through the opening in the tank. Insert the new handle through the opening from the outside of the tank. Position the lever arm so that it can move freely without hitting anything inside the tank. Install the retaining nut and tighten it until the handle is secure. Again, don't over-tighten it. Snug is enough. Reconnect the flapper chain to the new lever. Choose a connection point that keeps the chain reasonably straight and gives you that small amount of slack when the flapper is closed. Press and release the handle several times. Watch the flapper every time. It should open easily, then fall completely back into place without the chain getting tight, tangled, or trapped. Now give the toilet several normal flushes. Don't just test it once. Make sure the handle returns on its own every time. Make sure the flapper closes completely and listen after the tank finishes filling. If everything becomes quiet and stays quiet, you've corrected the problem. If the chain and the handle are adjusted correctly but the toilet is still running, it's time to look somewhere else. If water is still leaking from the tank into the bowl, the flapper itself may be worn, warped, or damaged. Watch my video called Replace a Toilet Flapper. If the water level keeps rising until water flows into the overflow tube, the problem is probably your fill valve or float. Watch my video, Replace and Adjust a Toilet Fill Valve. And if you're not sure which one you're dealing with, go back to my Diagnose a Running Toilet video. That will walk you through the symptoms and point you toward the right treatment. Let's review the treatment. Remove the tank lid and watch the handle, chain, and flapper operate. Make sure the chain has a small amount of slack, not too tight, not too loose. Keep excess chain away from the flapper. Make sure the chain pulls the flapper as straight as possible. Check that the handle moves freely and returns on its own. If the handle is loose, damaged, or sticking, adjust it or replace it. Then test several flushes and make sure the flapper closes completely every time. A properly adjusted chain and handle can solve a running toilet without replacing anything else. And that's it. Our toilet handle and flapper chain have been adjusted or replaced. Check out my playlist of plumbing related videos right here, or browse through the channel for useful tips on a variety of topics. Thanks for watching Your Home Medic. I'll see you in the next one.